Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Chasing the Moon RV. My name is Zia. My little guy Charlie is in his bed back there, and we're going to do the third part of my day trip around Vancouver. The first week we did Granville Island. Last week we did a part of downtown Vancouver and Stanley Park, and today we're going to be doing the last leg of the trip that I take visitors to Vancouver on when we're heading back to Richmond, where I live. I'm not going to keep talking about my concussion, I promise. This should be the last time. However, in last week's video, I realized that I made some mistakes in some of the things I told you about some of the places I pointed out. So I just want to correct that quickly in case any of you ever come to Vancouver looking for those places and can't find them. The first one was, as we were heading into downtown Vancouver, I pointed out something I called the Sears Tower. And it was called the Sears Tower when I was a lot younger. That building with the revolving restaurant on top, because that revolving restaurant still does exist, and there is an observation deck up there too. That building is now called Harbor Center. So if you come to Vancouver and you want to go up and get a 360 bird's eye view of Vancouver, the North Shore Mountains, West Vancouver, it's a good place to get an overall view of the area. So that's Harbor Center, not the Sears Tower. Then as we were going down the hill towards one of the oldest historical buildings in Vancouver, I called it, well, it used to be a train station, and it was a CPR train station, and there is still a West Coast Express that leaves from there to go to outlying areas. But it is actually now known as Waterfront Station, and it is a C-bus terminal. And the C-bus is part of our transit system, and it takes pedestrians only from downtown Vancouver over to Lonsdale Quay in North Vancouver. So, okay, that's 2 out of 3 corrections I have to make. And the other one was, once we got into Stanley Park, I pointed out that there were 3 mountains where you could ski, local mountains. I said the one on the right was Seymour, the one in the middle, directly ahead of us, was Grouse, and I said the one on the left, which is in West Vancouver, was Hollyburn. It's not Hollyburn. I don't know why I called it Hollyburn. It's Cypress Mountain, and it's another place where you can ski. So now that I've set that straight, let's get on with today's video. So this morning, Charlie and I went for a lovely walk in a place that we frequent. Then taking a trip back to Richmond that sort of hugs the waterline all the way back. And then we're going to end the video at a place in Richmond called Garry Point. It's at the mouth of the Fraser River in Steveston Harbor. And we're going to watch sunset. And somebody mentioned, I think after the last video, or a very recent video, that they love sunsets, but they made them sad. So I hope this doesn't make anyone sad. I think it's a lovely, calming way to spend the evening. And I have to say that since I've been living full-time van life, I've seen way more sunsets and wildlife than I ever did sitting in my living room at home. So let's get on with the video. We are on Denman Street and coming up to English Bay. This row of old heritage houses. I'm so glad they saved them because the whole West End was like this at one time. That's our planetarium down there, that little white building. This is Kitsilano. A little more bohemian here in Kitsilano. Vegetarian restaurants and funky little shops. Little old apartment buildings. Quite a cool place to live. And very close to Kit's Beach, which has a pool, an outdoor pool. And they also have something called Bard on the Beach here every year in the summer, which is a Shakespearean place. These houses on the right are waterfront, very, very expensive homes. And now we're heading to Spanish Banks, a very, very popular beach area, and just down the hill from the university. You can see all the container ships again. I'm sorry if the wind is making a lot of noise. The green space between these two container ships is the park we just drove around, Stanley Park. And then we came back through part of downtown Vancouver. There's Vancouver. And came right around to here. This is a very, very popular beach in the summer. And one summer I actually saw a guy on a paddleboard out here. And there was the fin of an orca, a killer whale, just behind him. I don't know if he ever noticed it, but yeah. Look at that. It's a stunning place to live, a really stunning place to live. Spanish Banks is actually made up of 3 beach areas, and the gates are closed at night, so there's no overnight camping. It's just under 3 kilometers long, so there's plenty of room. It's never ever too crowded. There's beach volleyball. You're allowed to have barbecues, picnics, and it's a great place for dog walking or skimboarding. Not the best beach for swimming because at low tide you have to walk so far out to reach the water, but wonderful views, of course. On the left-hand side is Pacific Spirit Park, a very popular destination for hikers and mountain bikers. museum, beautifully designed, interesting artifact. We even have a nudist beach here. I can't think of the name of it right now. Quite a bit of pretty fall color here. You see botanical gardens. And that's about it, people. We're heading back towards Richmond now. Well, it's peaceful tonight. We're at Garry Point at sunset. And Garry Point is in Richmond in the Steveston Harbour at the mouth of the Fraser River. This freestanding memorial, which takes the form of a net needle mending tool, commemorates the lives and the deaths of Steveston fishermen. Well, I just wanted to come back and say goodbye to everyone and to thank you for watching and for sticking with me. I don't know what I'm going to do next Sunday. I guess at this time of year, it's going to start depending on the weather, because when it rains here, it's not nearly as pretty. The same as everywhere else, of course, but yeah, I'll have to think of some things. I need more suggestions, people. Maybe even a Q&A. I don't know that I'm ready to do a live one yet, but if you've got any particular questions you want to ask, I'll have a look at some of those. I really do so appreciate everyone that has subscribed to the channel, new viewers, returning viewers. And for those of you who haven't subscribed, as I've said before, please do. The more people that share and subscribe and like, the more people will get to see the videos. And for me personally, for my channel, it makes a huge difference. It doesn't cost you anything, so please think about subscribing. It's starting to get a bit dark here, and so I'm going to do my dishes and look for a place to spend the night. As always, wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, I hope you had an absolutely incredible day. And I'm going to say bye-bye for now.